All right, we do have our man, the myth, the legend himself, Cebu. And the drink, he prefers to drink, and we have it already. Oh, I love it.
How are you, Guru?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for valuable time. I know you're super busy. Cheers to you. And that's a finger stir. That's how it is to be started, guys. Cheers.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, first of all. Just to
Thank
share
you for your valuable time, because the key goal of this one-on-one session is to connect the bridge between the ambitious bartenders and also the mastermind bartenders. When I call mastermind bartenders, you're definitely one of them whom I always foresee that you are not only a bartender, you're a trendsetter for many ambitious bartenders in UAE. Can you please give a quick overview of yourself, who you are, what do you do now?
Well, Guru, my name is ʟᴇݴ. Like, I've been doing my job for the past 22 years.
Wow.
I started in that mind 18 years ago. This was my passion, so I've studied economics. I have bachelor's in economics, master's in water economics, and I used to work at nights. And I just found my passion, and I started to develop. I attended so many classes, so many schools, global, like Lausanne Hospitality School from Lausanne. So many degrees. I got other seminars as well. I've been attended so many bar scenes globally. I've met all the gurus in our industry.
Ancient gurus, guys.
And you are one of us. I mean, at the same time,
Thank you, sir. Thank
like
you.
meaning in the sense of people who are like I have 22 years of experience. My mentors were like in 50 years of experience, 60 years of experience. Like one of the legends who passed away, ʟᴇန့ had been. I met him. He was my judge even in one place in Lebanon. I won the Kettle One competition, so in Lebanon. So, and later on, it was. And the list goes on, like ʟᴇ<hesitation>𝑑𝒐𝒖𝒓𝒊𝒏𝒈 𝑮𝒓𝒆💂 Peter Dorelli. Who else? The list is very big. I don't want to mention
Definitely.
anyone because I really don't want to disrespect.
This is one of the beautiful reasons why I call the man, the myth, and the legend of our beverage industry.
So it's been 10 years, Guru Amir. 10 years it's been already. I came for 3 days, and the journey continued, and it's been 10 years. I was never planning to stay here. So the tree turned out to be 10 years. I'm doing all the menus for Admind Group, from white reaching to all the venues in Lebanon. And after I made the shift to UAE, almost all the venues I've worked for.
Yeah, he's been heading the beverages for White, Iris. I lose my count on the fingers here now.
Ardipur, Mescaleria,
Muscalaria.
Indi, Mato, Babylon, Rasputin, Lao. I mean, I help the guys as well.
Sucre.
Lao, Sucre, our project, Almabar, which is our franchise, which is coming from London, along with 𝒪 So, which is gonna be opened after 2 weeks as well. It's one of the newest projects.
Really? That's beautiful.
And we have so many branches, like Iris, we have 7 branches.
Yeah.
Not only in Dubai, we started in Iris, Beirut. Then we moved to Abu Dhabi, then Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi. And the list is going on. And we have so many type of varieties in the group, from restaurants to fine dinings to lounges to clubs. And I've been behind all the big names and elements. I don't only create the venues, I train the people, I educate them.
Absolutely.
I do manning, I do payrolls, I design the bars, I do every single thing related to beverage.
Beautiful, guys. Don't miss out this opportunity to when I'm taking his brain. Don't skip the video or don't scroll it. Listen to every single word what comes out of his mouth. And I swear to God, I'm going to go watch this video again and again after this interview, for sure.
Thank you.
What is your favorite drink and why?
What's my favorite drink? Guru, it's a tough question for you and me. But look, I really love to start my day not with something, though my palate is very bitter. I love something to start like a sour, at least just to give a kick to myself. I'm a big fan of whiskey sours. I love New York sours as well.
Beautiful.
Like a New York sour is very rarely made in our culture in UAE. Mainly, we do a lot of whiskey. Our market drinks a lot of whiskey here, and I prefer the whiskey sour with a bit of touch. I love the penicillin as well, which is a big classic, forgotten classic,
For sure.
and it's a nice remedy because we passed through so many cases, and it's a really lovely sweet. I mean, you can blend it with a proper blended whiskey like the Johnny Walker Black, with a bit of kick of single malt whiskey added on top, with a homemade ginger syrup that we cook.
That would be
So I
insane.
blend our sugar, so it's not only the syrup itself. I add a bit of herbal things as well, like the rosemaries. This is in terms of the sour, the whiskey sour. In terms of New York sour, nice Malbec on top. It will be giving nice kick as well.
Good, no? Good
Sours are
also.
always my favorites to start with. Then I go a bit harsh. Then I go a bit of classics. I've been inspired by Italian classics, so I love the hanky pankies. From that, we can go to the Manhattans. We can go to the Robroys. So I love. This is the style of drinks
That's
which I really,
fantastic. That's
which I
really,
really prefer, to be honest.
that's lovely. That's
Nonetheless, my main favorite thing is the agave, which I really love.
one of agave, right?
And I'm like, I really don't like to mix it sometimes. I just like to have it as it is.
Absolutely.
With ice, I call it even a cocktail, even it's 2 elements. So
Absolutely.
I can do it.
One,
Passion,
two elements.
passion, ice, and the spirit. It's
Beautiful. That's a three ingredient there. Bravo. So when you call about ingredients, selection of ingredients, how do you select the ingredients for the spirit when you are creating the cocktails?
Look, Guru, first, when my first question and last question, which I always share with the management team, which time we're opening a venue or creating a concept,
Yes.
I ask what is the concept.
Uh-huh.
Second of all, then from that, I can align what type of products I might be using. And from that, I can start, like, I'm always up to date with, like, so not everybody, not with, like, Dubai helps us in a very big way, because whatever we need, we can have it.
Absolutely.
Whatever we desire, we can have it. From the Mercato, the old souk of Dubai, which helps us big time. It opens up our imagination each time we visit, because it all started, the alcohol, if you look at the alcohol, it all started in search of spices and herbs, you know, and teas. So I always been inspired with this trend of finding the products. And first I look at the flavor note, then I match the spirit, not the opposite. Like I look at the menu and I divide it proportional, like you need the aperitivo, then you need the sour, then you need the fizz, then you need the strong ones, then you need the digestive. Then I start adding the products, whether I need it more herbal, whether I need it some fruity. It depends on the concept, as I mentioned. But for sure, your core has to be inspired by the classics. Sometimes, like in one of the projects, _ʟᴑ, it was the inspiration, it was a French product. And for me, like the first, because we were at the port as well,
Absolutely.
where we are now in the harbors. And the first port was Marseille in France. So where all the goods were entering France. So
As soon as you know the concept, you do an in-depth research about that.
yes, I like to bring the emphasis. I don't only look at the concept. I like the inspiration from the history, from the culture point of view, because it has all cultural now. Now you will say me and you, now the trend is going into agave, and the scotch is still there on the gin. Okay, but these trends, not only we set it, people set it as well. Like Dubai market, we help them, and they help us. It's not like the opposite. So we have to look at these changes as well, you know.
What the
And
consumer wants.
yes, and what is really missing in terms of classics now, nowadays bartenders, they only memorize the first 10, but we have 130 classics.
Absolutely.
Like I was saying to the point of before, let's say, like I have used a cocktail which is from 1940s, the yellow, which has been forgotten cocktail. It's just very simple, very herbaceous, gin base. Get out of the normal things, like come up, refresh your mind always. When I tell to my leaders, to my bar managers, I let them to really regenerate their mindset, just train themselves just to go back and bring the forgotten elements that
Absolutely.
were being used. So it's so many factors. Like it's not only the spirit, it's not only the venue or the concept. It's about you go to the time where things were created, like which was the trend. What I need to do? Okay, let me modernize it. That's what we're doing with Alma concept now. It's basically like a forgotten regional geographical elements. At the same time, things like the cocktails that they were forgotten in certain eras, like the 60s, 70s.
Absolutely, yeah.
Bartenders were not proud of certain drinks like the ʟᴇݴ which was a very lovely cocktail. But now, in those days, it was something very funny. The fizz was something very funny. It was slow gin-based things. Like when you know how to play the game, and you know, even one point I say as well, you really need to have the palate.
Absolutely. To understand the flavor.
Like we as chefs at the same time. Like
the aroma of it.
bartender, mixologist has to be very close with the chef. He needs to understand what is going on, and he needs to. It's not only our duties to know about the spirit. You need to know about the raw materials, especially when you're creating a cocktail. So many of my bartenders, they say, look, I'm very weak in food, but okay, you need to work on your food because that's your palate. That's what opens up your talents, your way of thinking about the products, how you can bring them. You go out of the usual normal things that are being commonly used.
Beautiful. So basically, he literally answered everything what I have them over here in one question, you know. That intense this man is. That's one of the reason why I was telling you guys, don't blink your eyes. Okay, thank God he has not answered this question or not covered this point. How do you go about selecting the right glassware for each cocktail, and what role do you believe presentation plays in overall drinking experience?
Look, Guru, it's a trend, to be honest. Nowadays, we had a couple of years back where Dubai wanted, through the social media, which is playing a big factor, people wanted to see crazy stuff.
Yes.
But those crazy stuff, you get bored from. The eye gets tired.
Very so.
Like me and you, we come here to share something. Okay, we saw it, nice. But how often we can come back to this?
Absolutely.
For me, look, the presentation is to be very minimal, elegant, and everything has to be used. Like from the glassware, how to use. You need to know exactly which type goes from.
Do you follow any recipes or do you follow any
of course
principles of selecting the right glassware?
Let's say, as I mentioned, like you are dividing your menu in terms of aperitivo, then the sours, then the daisies, then this, then the fashions, then the kind of the Negronis. So the families you need to take into consideration, and how they will be in their best shape and their best served. So those bartenders in those days, they knew. It's not like they didn't have. They created the equipments which we didn't even put an effort to create.
On a word, right?
You know, so you need to understand the families, and if your cocktail has been inspired from these families, you need to at least use the right glasses, even in a modern way. Okay, at least to know, like if the cocktail is sour, you need to use proper glass. Really, if it's a martini, your martini should be proper martini, not a fancy coupette. Coupette doesn't help you sometimes. You need the proper martini. Why it was created? We don't need a lot of oxygen to go inside. Irritation, we don't need. We need it to be staying cold. So all these factors, you really need to understand your inspiration of the classics into your creation and to modern stuff. I agree. I choose so many crazy items as well, but I know how to use it. It's about how to use it. You can't use a pipe glass, put a sour drink or fluffy drink in it. You know what I mean? You can't use a highball and put a crushed ice in it. Like you really need to understand the elements, not only the glass, the ice, and how you make it simple and attractive with minimal elements. The more minimal, the more elegant. You can't go make something which is going to be complicated to serve it on the table.
Absolutely. I've seen some glasswares which are like very gigantic, and they come with
and the presentation always, you need to really think of the style. You can just do a small trick on the table and you will catch the eye, you know.
Absolutely.
And people, that's what they love. People, they love this surprise element, and it should not be necessarily involving crazy expensive glassware which costs you $100. Let's say you can buy a glass for 6 dirhams and you can make that glass the most elegant and attractive.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Agree with you. How do you see the bar industry evolving in coming years, and what do you believe the key trends are now?
Look, the trends are a bit shifting and moving in terms of cocktail making. Let's say people are going into products which are a bit unusual, because their gastronomy palette is becoming evolved. If we're gonna talk of Dubai market, as we say, it's gonna become the second London, which already is here.
Absolutely.
Where a lot of bartenders, the big celebrities are already visiting,
Sure.
and big brands are opening in the market, which helps the whole industry to really compete properly and to have that challenge. So nobody is being stepping back. They are always trying for the best to evolve, not to just say I'm better than yours, but just to give the real essence, like you're doing something, come out of the simplicity, but in a not complex way, but in a very modernized way. Let's say I can put it. How the trend is shifting, we're gonna go a bit to ABV style. I still believe in ABV, low ABV cocktails. We really need to understand what is low ABV. It's not like you use certain material, then you're into that direction. As the prices are globally going higher, we're going into that direction, I believe. Thanks God, Dubai created the hub and they gave us the chance to lower our prices, where we're really happy to play with luxury products, which we couldn't do it in big
expensive for sure.
measurements and stuff. Nevertheless, it will stay there, but the majority, the people, they want to enjoy the best out of the best in a very reasonable way, and ABV will take 50% of the new trend, I believe.
I definitely agree. Yesterday I was having a one-on-one with the highball president, I call him, Glenn from Morocco. His menu has got around half of the menu is filled with highball. And it's really, really surprising how did anybody agree to have half of the menu, but they're ruling it, right? That's what the trend right now is, highball. But there is whiskey highball, tequila highball, gin highballs. It's all about highball.
And Muru, don't forget, it's about, look, we can't generalize as a trend. It's about the concept of the venues.
Absolutely.
Like if you are going to volume venues, like Iris as well, like Roca, they do big volumes as well, and others somewhere like 𝑷𝒐𝒖𝒓𝒊𝒏𝒈, like our venues as well.
That's massive.
So you need to really know what exactly you're gonna use.
Absolutely.
And what to focus on. And each time, your menu should have diversification. Like for a certain timing, it's all about us at the end. How we're approaching what to sell on what time. You got, like sometimes we have a guest, they come and request 10 Mai Tais at 2 a.m. or 10 whiskey sours at 1:30 a.m. Like first we need to educate the people that sour you can't have it at 1:30 p.m. a.m. Sorry. So every single cocktail has its own timing, and upon the venue, how it's you're setting the trend in terms of volume or speakeasy or low volume, more of a casual where you're gonna have communication. It plays the role. Like you can't just set the trend. You set the trend upon in terms of way of presenting, way of simplicity, because at the end we don't want to hustle.
There are many other factors just setting up a trend or catching up based on the guest experience, what do they want to drink, where we are located, what is the concept of the restaurant.
And all you do is the trends. You set the trends upon some problems, mainly.
Yes.
Like you want to reach consistency. You want to reach. You don't want to wait more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes for a cocktail. So you try to use the new methods, which are very, very, very.
Whether it's a pre-batch or
pre-batch, sous vide, this, that, this is the direction. Like we want easy service, because
simply losing the patient.
We're forgetting the technology, what's happening in the world. So many new technological equipments, which there's no bartenders anymore. Like you can just put
scientists now,
just press the button and you're gonna get your cocktail or limonata or Negroni. So in order to reach and to keep our essence, we need to create and find these trends, which we keep our existence and our
interaction between the guest and the bartender,
which is the most.
That's 100%. We are in an ambitious talk over here. The question can go a bit longer. The answers will be longer enough so that you have all the knowledge, every detail of it. So we spoke about trends of cocktail. We spoke about how do we set up the entire bar and all this kind of stuff. But also I want to understand, how do you approach menu pricing? Because you have been setting up the bar in Lebanon, Abu Dhabi. How do you approach menu pricing, and what other factors do you consider when setting up the prices?
Look, first of all, besides the market study that you do, depending where you are allocated, we need to be reasonable as well.
Yes.
So we can't use a caviar coming from I don't know where a small gram of it will go crazy, the price of the item, though we have high percentage, high price of spirits, let's
Yes.
say, and the raw materials, majority of them are imported products. So we need to really understand how to play it. So first, you have to do your market study. Then the products that you're using, there's always another substitute. I'm not saying go fake with the ingredients. Use it properly, and in your menu, you should have always variation.
An example what
can
you
have-
earlier was not to use 100 dirhams, $100 glass. Instead of that, you can use 6 dirhams and make it wow.
True. And plus, when it comes to ingredients, that's your main factor. So coming for me to sell the product, I need to be really thinking a bit of in terms of business as well. I can't create a cocktail where I might sell only once.
Absolutely.
You should have those variations in your menu where you're gonna give a value to the luxury products as well, or the reserve brands, let's say, and you should have the not an entry products, let's say, like premium.
The premium.
Or
we call it a speed rail, mid shelf, and top shelf.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
like sometimes you can do a speed rail product, which is like our speed rail product is already most of the premium products that we are lucky of. Like we know how to do our costing and
pretty
stuff,
much.
use our supports from all the agencies, and we know how to really match it. So for me, when it comes to pricing, I always keep the gap of 50%, very reasonable price. It should be always to the price of the classic cocktails that you have. Even if you're doing a classic, even if you're doing the signature, then the rest you still go with a bit of margin to go higher, depending on the element which you are using and you really want out of it. From out of it, like you expect, for instance, a sale of, like I have one cocktail on the menu. I didn't expect much. We're selling crazy amount of it, and it's a bit higher than the others. But I start from 60 onwards, which is like I'm covering the majority. I want you to not only experience one
drink. I want to drink more.
I like you to enjoy more, and I like you to come more. I don't want you to.
That's one of the reasons why I always tell people good cocktails are those cocktails which your guests will consume those cocktails and ask for one more.
True, and you have to think of another point as well, which I said in my hospitality training when I give to the team. You know, one big thing happened to me the first year when I was in Dubai. I was having a dinner in one of the restaurants, and the very next day at 8:30 a.m. they called me.
8:30 a.m.
Yes, and I was very shocked why they are calling me. They asked me, how was your experience? After I finished the call with them, I started to think, why this lady called me this much early? Because automatically I will give you a call. You will say, Mr. What were you? I will give you automatically. I was in this place. I had this food. It was amazing, or it was very bad. The prices were crazy high, or the prices were amazing. Try it. So you already made up your mind about the venue which you haven't been. So that was a very important call and element. Things really fly very fast than what we see nowadays. You hear faster than you see. Like so. So the price point. Sometimes we don't go to a venue. We haven't been there, and we hear, oh, the prices of this place is very. You have to be careful. You know.
The word of mouth.
This word of mouth really plays, and it hurts sometimes the venue. So even in designing a menu, you really need to take into consideration all the aspects. Don't be luxurious. Don't be crazy. Just be logical and know your numbers and know the products and how to use them. You can use a vanilla goose, which is expensive, but you need to know that I might use 0.05 milligram of that whole batch. You know what I mean? So it's not that expensive.
Optimize everything.
It's to how to optimize the most the thing is even like I squeeze tomatillo juice, for instance. I make out of the waste another edible garnish with a bit of some salt.
Wow.
So there's a way to play with your elements.
So it's very important for you to play around with every single ingredient, and also how do you optimize your ingredient. And we got a next question for you. What are the most common mistakes you see in today's bartenders?
They don't give too much time nowadays to themselves.
Absolutely.
In terms of knowledge and learning. Please guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking for everybody, but I will just give an experience of me, myself, and him, Guru. In our days, I've been doing bartending for the past 22 years. The accessibility that the new generation has
Is abundant.
is upon any other thing. Like if you don't know what is soda between natural water and you can easily Google.
Yeah.
Where we didn't have the access to internet to connect to Allah. We used to run. We used to go.
We are from the era of dial-up connection. We have to dial up the internet and wait. And there was only one. Wikipedia was the only existing.
Not only that, we used to buy books. Like I've been educated. Like it was for us. We remove half of our salary to go buy the books. And now the thing is, bartenders, they really need to be patient. It takes, till now I call myself a bartender regardless of what other duties do I have, but I'm still learning every day. Like I still need to recap what was used in the old days, how I need to implement in the new days, and how I need to approach people if they're, I started Guru making a cocktail after 2 years. I was barback for 2 years, but within those period, I'm not saying I was lazy or whatsoever, but the type of the things that we were learning or that level was crazy. We needed to know how many ice cubes we need to have in a highball.
Absolutely.
In a short glass, in this, in that. A single highball, my bar manager didn't let me to do it until I was very ready to be
100%.
Now we just know how to make the first 10, or we just gain an experience 3 months.
Guess what? The
Now
first
we just
drink,
jump.
first drink I ever made behind the bar was a highball after 1.5 years. I was meant only to squeeze the lime and cook sugar syrup for all the 5 bars in the hotel.
It's not a shame, guys. As a message for you, it's not a shame. It is very important to really understand the aspects of what we really do, because we will know the meaning of every single object from organic to non-organic in terms of fruits, vegetables, liquid, this and that. We just need to really grasp all this.
And I just recalled, we used to call lime juice as bartender, because we used to squeeze it, we used to make all the fresh lime juice manually, and we don't have those fancy barakat and all this pre-bottled juices.
And,
We used to do this.
look, I still squeeze. I have an operation of, I can fit in the venue 3,000 people.
Wow.
And one more, I can fit up to 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
We squeeze our juices. I have AM operation. I don't buy any juices from outside.
No way.
We squeeze all our juices.
This is
So it's
that
all
is
about
surprising.
what you guys really want to do at the end for your final product.
The experience of drinking a simple service on a daiquiri, on a mojito with fresh lime juice is totally different than.
Of course, like, I mean, for a citric fruit, it will take literally a few seconds to be oxidized. So
Yeah.
even if it's squeezed 2 hours earlier, it's not going to be the same as just do it so fresh for you on the spot. And
What are the key? What are some of the key ingredients you believe every bar should have? It's a difficult question because there are so many ingredients.
It's very difficult, to be honest. We can't minimize it, classify it, and whatever I mention, Guru, it will reflect on me. So I don't know how really to put these 4 ingredients, to be honest. You just need to have the right tools. I will put it in this way.
Yes.
Right tools, right knowledge.
True.
I will play in this
That's
way.
true ingredient.
Tools, the knowledge, teamwork, teamwork, and and the 4th one, it will be patience. These are my 4 ingredients that I like to
Guys,
have.
this is one of the most brilliant inputs ever a beverage leader has given to us. Ingredients doesn't mean just lime, lemon, or sours. It means totality, the team, the strength, the knowledge of the team, and also how well you execute as a team. That's important. That's fantastic. Thank you, Sibu. This is
I know it was a bit weird for
no, it is.
but, it's
No, it is important ingredient. That's essential. That's one of the most essential
the
ingredients.
rest of the
of
things
being
you
a
can have it whenever we can, whenever we-
Absolutely.
But this
So you have been opening so many concepts over the past 22 years and 18 years in Admind. That's a big, long journey. I was just talking to a fellow bartender of ours that he's been working for 3 years and said, wow, you work for 3 years in the same company. You've been working for 18 years. That's insane, guys. This is not easy to keep yourself motivated and still call yourself as a bartender when he is the beverage magnate or the beverage tycoon of the whole ad mind. This is brilliant. The question for you is, there are so many new entrepreneurs, new bar owners are coming into Dubai. What do you want to tell them to be ready, be prepared before you invest in the Dubai market?
Look, the opportunities are very big in Dubai.
Yes.
And if you have the investment, it's very easy for you to open. And you know, me know
Yes.
how many venues open every month and how many venues unfortunately, they don't do good. Um, it's about really understanding the business and the market and who you are hiring. The elements
Those are hiring.
The
Absolutely.
elements are very important, like who are really working with you. Like you can invest millions and you can get the best out of the best in terms of interior, in terms of this. But it's about,
If you don't have the right set of people,
yes, because you remember two things go in any venue, which I really mentioned in my trainings as well. If you leave this place, you remember two things. The person who escorted you to the bar or to the turntable, and the product that you were served, whether it was liquid, in our case, cocktail, or the food. Those are the two things you remember from the venue.
absolutely.
Because those two products, they will summarize up one experience.
Total experience.
So how it's been delivered, how it made an impact on me, and the vibe, how much that connection happened. It's about connection, not about relation. It's about connecting. Connecting makes you to grow. So you really need to be patient. Not only it's the best place, of course it's the best place, but you need to really understand how to live here first. And what is your concept? You should have a concept. Me and you, we go now, we're on, we see 30,000 places. They look identical, only different names. Why I need to go to this? Why I need to go there? You need to have a concept. You need to have that vibe. It's not only the place of only good happening and the happy days happening. It's about why I will be coming here, because I feel home. I need to feel home. Does your venue makes me feel home? Like we need to think, if I am gonna hold a glass which is costing I don't know how much, and by mistake I broke it. Let's think of normal accidents.
Accidents happen, yeah.
I just got a product which is gonna be, it's tasty, but I can't really afford it every day. Like we go out every day, let's say. I want to go out every day.
Absolutely.
I really want to get the full experience every day. Even there's a place which is not even quite busy, let's say, to this competitions. Why I'm telling you, it's all about presentation. 8 years ago, when I was competing for the best Moscow Mule in the MENA region, and it was sponsored by Smirnoff at the time.
Yeah.
And till now, I guess my name is still on the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I went to the competition, and usually when I go to competition, I literally take few things with me, not too many complicated things. And I just reached, it was one of the first competitions I do here in UAE.
Wow.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, my guys were saying, Sabuta, are you sure you're gonna do it? I said, yeah, I will just go present my drink, which I sell more than 2,000 drinks of Moscow Mule per month. I just want to show the judges how I sell it. And I saw the competitors, like big presentation boxes, big garnishes, big this.
Yes.
Yeah. So my turn came, and I just took my cup, the mug, and took my ginger syrup, which I cook it.
Yeah.
And I just went behind the bar with my elbow squeezer, and I went behind the bar.
Oh,
That's what I did. So
simplicity, guys. Simplicity won there.
I just went over there, and I just told them what they needed to hear. First of all, I will come what I mean as well. You don't talk of the product, first of all, because judges, they know.
Yes.
Judges, they know their products. They want to hear how you're using the product.
Yes.
This is what they want to hear in a competition. How and why you use this product, and etc., etc. The link. How I want to open up this spirit without losing the flavor of the spirit.
Exactly. There are so many bartenders out there who add 300 different ingredients and lose the actual charm of the main spirit. That's one of the reasons why I see that many bartenders suffer in the competition, justifying why did they use the ingredient. That's brilliant. We are launching Johnnie Walker Blends Colors and Cocktail.
Okay.
This cocktail competition is to inspire the bartenders to think beyond flavors, think beyond cocktails. How colors are influencing the flavors in the blends in your cocktails.
The colors are mainly for the eye.
Yes.
Guru. Like it depends when you are really using natural colors, and it depends the outsource. So you really need to understand the flavors. Something catchy, it will be very nice as well. And especially when it's now we're talking of whiskey, we need to know what really works.
Yes.
The flavors. Then we start with the colors. You can't go blue color with whiskey.
Yeah. So let's ask you some rapid questions here.
Yeah.
First things, what comes to your mind when you hear this word? Ice.
Clarity,
Lemon.
acidity,
Plastic straws.
never ever.
Blends.
Black label, I mean,
Yeah.
the rocks.
Thank you so much for your valuable time. It was fun. Guys, this has been an incredible journey for all of us, and truly, this man truly inspires me. And this is such an he's like Mount Everest for me, mighty as Mount, but humble as clear ice. Sibu, thank you so much for your valuable
you very
time.
much for this,
It has been absolute pleasure, my
I know
brother.
the time was a bit short.
Yes,
we
it's
can go-
perfect. It's perfect.